Today, 22nd September 2021. We already explained Samatha and Vipassana meditation, how to realize Nibbana. Since 28 July, we started to explain already 10 Ānāpāna. Now only we reached Vipassana meditation. Very long journey. Anyway, we need to practice, we need to learn, we need to practice according to the Buddha explanation to develop morality, to observe morality, to develop concentration and wisdom knowledge in order to realize Nibbana, in order to free from all suffering. Before we start our Dhamma talk, let's pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. We translate this Namo Tassa Katha into the Myanmar version. Arahato Tathāgaya Gīvisa Yanduduma Kitabhavitato. Arahato Tathāgaya Gīvisa Yandudugu Ondomu Naindomu Tatomu Dabhavitato. Arahato Luminamen Vyamamendoi Ludam Vaya Vyasi Libya Nindagwa Ayodi Byujin Aliyamya Byujin Miwe Jensi Gachin Angu Ata Byujin Lubu Kando Mudabhavitato Arahato Sigwaya Ayanai Muya no Muya Semuya Dupshin Makaumu Mandamyago Budomamu Dabhavitato Yodo Mamu Dabhavitato Jansiro Mamu Dabhavitato Bhagavato Isriya Dhammaya Sasiri Kama Vyeda Midwin Bono Chauli Nebyedono Mu Dabhavitato Samma Sambuddhassa Dukkha Sajja Sudhya Sajja Magga Sajja Nirodha Sajja Husvado Sajja Livarugo Purodendale Tune Yui Limye Domu Dabhavitato Yasa Dadi Sasa Lokarandali Mundai Wile Yui Maya Injausa Dengendu Kaikando Dadi Konili Yezono Mudabhavitato To Bono Chaubadakin Darin Yumyaswa Pya Amagan Yaho Bugu Diana Bugu Chija Bono Yona Napyanga Kanda Gudunga Damo Adenudua Namo Yaho Diana Bian Guayue Andere Ginjin Holodo Diadomye Arahata Pubao Abia Sondo Yauba Zijin Juma Kono Nalong Doma Byong Byong Mangolio Yue Royo Jo Lasomo Yue Shiko Man Shokaro Jendi Atu Pawadu Sense Madwe Pepa Lidi Yaswa Paya Sadhu Sadhu. Today we will start to explain Vipassana meditation. Until previous Dhamma talk, since 28 July, we have already displayed Samatha meditation. How to practice Ānāpāna meditation, mindfulness or breathing meditation to anti-fall protection meditation. So the Buddha also encouraged that in order to free from all the craving, in order to free from all the tangle, Buddha also encouraged to observe morality, to develop concentration and wisdom knowledge. In Samyutta Nikaya, the Ssati Deva asked to the Buddha with the questions. Ando jada, vahi jada, jadaya jadida bija, dandang godama buchami, go ime vi jadaye jada. The meaning is the inner tangle and outer tangle. This generation is entangled. And so I ask of Gautama these questions. Who succeeds in this tangling, this tangle? Tangle is a term for the network of cravings. At the beginning of my talk, I have already mentioned, because of cravings, we have to reborn in the samsara, life to life, again and again. Even Buddha, the Lord Buddha, within 4 aeon and 100,000 cycles periods, you have to reborn in the samsara, again and again. Sometimes you have to reborn in the human race or deva race. Sometimes also because of the craving accumulated with the unwholesome karmas, also have to reborn in the wufu race, vaya race. Sometimes also our bodhisattva have to reborn in the animal lives. So these are all because of the cause of the craving associated with the wholesome or unwholesome karma. We have to reborn in the samsara again and again until now. So in order to free from the network of the cravings, what should we do to free from this tangling and this tangle? At the time, Buddha explained with one kata. Sile padethaya naro sappinyo chaitam panyan cha bhavayan adambi nibago bhikkhu so ime vi jadaye jadam. The meaning is, when a wise man established well and virtue, developed concentration and wisdom, then he succeeds in this tangling, these tangles. The meaning is, in order to free from all these craving, this tangling, to succeed in this tangling, the tangles, firstly need to observe morality. Secondly, need to develop concentration. After that, need to wisdom, knowledge, threefold training: morality, concentration, and wisdom. So if we observe, now all devotees, all listeners already observed the 5 precepts. In order to purify the morality, need to observe the sila. If we observe morality, this morality we have our bodily and verbal actions to stay away from evil thoughts. This is foundation. The person who observes morality, he does not commit bad bodily and verbal actions, but his mind will commit evil thinkings, unwholesome thinkings. Therefore, we must always practice our meditation objects. When you start to develop concentration with Ānāpāna meditation, so in our meditation center, our most vulnerable falsetto is encouraged meditator to always practice in their meditation object, not only in the sitting times, when they are walking, when they are standing, when they are sit down, when they are lying postures. When you are wake up to until before they are asleep. So they need to pay attention to their meditation objects. So if you develop 4 elements meditation also, not only sitting session, when you are walking, standing, always you can do by this way. Sometimes you may need to develop loving kindness meditation, especially when the hatred arises, you develop loving kindness meditation. And in free times also, when you are walking, standing, when you are remembering, you just pay attention to the loving kindness meditation object, or Buddha recollection, or formless meditation, or the touch recollection. Anyone you can do, not only developing Ānāpāna meditation. But if you develop Ānāpāna as your main object, you can maintain as possible your main meditation object. So by this way, if you develop the concentration, arising to elements may not arise. After that, you can develop wisdom knowledges. I already have mentioned many times already to understand about this threefold training, and also this threefold training system can remove 3 types of defilements. By observing morality, you can remove gross violence defilements. By developing concentration, you can remove second defilements called moderate defilements, agitate arising defilements. After that, when you practice a vipassana meditation, begin with the 4 elements. After that, you discern ultimate mentality, dependent origination. After understanding these 2 types of the knowledges of vipassana meditation, you can contemplate arising and perishing natures of mentality and maturity and their causes, impermanence nature, suffering nature, non-self natures of mentality, maturity, and their causes. If you develop wisdom knowledge, if you contemplate 3 characteristics, impermanence, suffering, and again and again, your knowledge will be mature. So at the time, one day you may attain Sautapatti fruition, Sakadagami fruition, Nagami fruition, Arahata fruition. So at the time, so you can remove totally defilements, that's called latent defilements. At least when you attain Sautapatti fruition, you may remove deity, wrong view, vicikiccha thoughts. You can remove totally, so not to arise in your mind. That's a latent defilements. By developing wisdom knowledge, by practicing vipassana meditation, the thoughts defilements you can be removed. In order that, now we are explaining how to develop concentration and wisdom knowledge. Today we will start to explain vipassana meditation. I have already mentioned for samatha, there are 40 samatha meditation. 2 types of meditation, samatha meditation and vipassana meditation. Samatha meditation is to develop concentration. Vipassana meditation is development of wisdom knowledge. For samatha, 40 samatha meditation. For vipassana, there are two objects of vipassana meditation. Nama meditation, rupa meditation. Ultimate mentality, ultimate maturity. At the beginning of vipassana meditation, we need to start to discern these mentality and maturity. So in order to understand that clearly, and we explain with the PowerPoint, and we use the PowerPoint. So these are samatha to vipassana meditation. At the beginning, you can start to practice Ānāpāna. Also, yogi, over center, start to devote concentration with Ānāpāna. After that, 32 part of the body, Dhammasāra meditation, or protective meditation. After that, you can go vipassana meditation. Some meditator, if they are not easily to success with Ānāpāna meditation, although they practice very long, they develop full advanced meditation. After that, they can practice to do for the body, Vaikasi and Dhammasāra meditation also for protection. After that comes vipassana meditation. 16 knowledges of vipassana meditation in order to realize Nibbana, in order to free from all the cravings. These are 4 elements meditation to vipassana meditation. So tonight, I will start to explain 4 elements meditation. How to practice 4 elements meditation. What is vipassana meditation? Vipassana meditation is nothing other than to realize impermanence, suffering, and non-self natures of the noble truth of suffering and the noble truth of origin of suffering. The noble truth of suffering, dukkha satya. The noble truth origin of suffering, samudaya satya. These two are the object of vipassana meditation. You already know the 4 noble truths. These two are the beginning, the noble truth of vipassana meditation. When you start to practice vipassana meditation. Only when we practice vipassana well and truly and fully realize these 2 noble truths, are we able to realize the supramundane 4 noble truth. The noble truth, the noble eightfold path, associated with supramundane path truth, Lokuttara Magga Satya. The path Magga of 3 and 3, Satapatti, once Ritana, Sakadagami, non-Ritana, Nagami, Arahashis. You can see this Chitiya charts. So in order to purify our view, in order to understand the first noble truth, the noble truth of suffering, we need to practice mentality and maturity. The first knowledge is of vipassana meditation. Nama, Rupa, Padeccheda. Mentality, maturity, definition, knowledge. The second one, cause apprehending knowledge. Paticca, Samuppada, Vachaya, Parikaha, Jnana. 3 knowledges of vipassana meditation. Number 1, Jnana Pariññana, the known full knowledge. So among 16 knowledges of vipassana meditation, so mentality, maturity, and dependent origination. These 2 are called Jnana Pariññana. At the beginning of vipassana meditation, we need to practice these 2 objects of vipassana meditation. Mentality, maturity, these are called the noble truth of suffering. Cause apprehending knowledge, dependent origination. To discern the cause of this mentality and maturity, we need to practice Paticca Samuppada. So in order to get Vichaya Parika Jnana, we need to practice the second knowledges of vipassana meditation, cause apprehending knowledge. These 2 are called Jnana Pariññana. After that, you can contemplate the three characteristics, starting from the third knowledges of Vipassana meditation, Dhammasāra jnana, comprehension knowledges. You need to discern impermanence nature, suffering nature, non-self natures of mortality, material and their causes. From the third knowledges of Vipassana meditation that already study Vipassana, until 16 knowledges of Vipassana meditation. Three main knowledge mean Jnata Prajnana. Number one, you can see in the right side, the top of the arrow, the known full knowledge, Jnata Prajnana. After that, Tirana Prajnana, investigation full knowledges. So among 16 knowledges of Vipassana meditation, number 3, Dhammasāra jnana, comprehension knowledge, Udayabaya jnana. Udayabaya jnana means arising and perishing knowledges. These two are called known and Tirana Prajnana, investigation full knowledges. Number 5 knowledges of Vipassana meditation too. And 16 knowledges of Vipassana meditation. That's called Pahana Parinana. Abundant full knowledges. 3 kinds of Parinana. In order to realize Nibbana, we need to go Western knowledges. 16 knowledges of Vipassana meditation. 3 main knowledges of Vipassana meditation. So now you can see, in order to purify our view, Ditti Visuddhi, firstly, you need to discern materiality. That's called Rupa Parikaha. After that, mentality, Arupa Parikaha. Discerning mentality, apprehension. Number 3, Rupa Parikaha. Mentality and maturity apprehension. The meaning is need to discern mentality and maturity together. After that, Nama Rupa Vavatana, mentality, maturity, resolution. In order to purify our view, there are 4 stages to discern mentality and maturity in this way. If you already discern the 4 stages of mentality and maturity, proving that apart from mentality, Nama Rupa, there is no being, Atta, no life, Jiva, no self, so Nama, no Deva, no Brahman, etc. So when you discern yourself internally or externally, at the time you may see, I am myself, male, female, by this way. You may only see Nama and Rupa. That's called mentality, maturity, resolution. In order to purify the view, there are 4 stages of discerning. Okay, today, when you practice Vipassana meditation, at the beginning, what you need to discern. Although you are here, not practice Vipassana proper, we may say that this is the beginning of Vipassana. Because at the end of 4 elements meditation, you will have developed the ability to discern ultimate materialities, which is necessary for Vipassana. You can see that you are now collecting the material necessary to do the work of Vipassana. For example, for the student, when you want to enter the university or college, firstly, you need to study until to finish the high school. Okay, that's a quality, the knowledge for university or college. In the same way, we can say that you are now collecting the material necessary to do the work of Vipassana. This is why it is necessary for all yogi to develop 4 elements meditation. In the Ānāpāna Sutta also, Buddha already explained Chatu, Dhatu, or Vatthana. The Ssati, 4 types of elements. 4 elements. 4 elements meditation, the necessary for vipassana. 4 elements meditation enables you to develop the ability to discern ultimate maturity, which is necessary for vipassana. You need to contemplate 4 elements meditation before one can do vipassana. Whether one's path to vipassana is first to develop samatha object, samatha subject of meditation, such as Ānāpāna, mindfulness or breathing. This is called samatha janika, samatha vehicle. When you practice vipassana meditation, there are 2 types of meditator, samatha vehicle. Other one is vipassana vehicle. Samatha vehicle first to develop samatha subject of meditation, such as Ānāpāna and a day jhana concentration. Or another meditator is called vipassana janika, vipassana vehicle way. Directly go to vipassana meditation without developing jhana concentration. So once past being with 4 elements meditation, that will only have to access concentration. One need to contemplate 4 elements meditation before one can do vipassana meditation. So in the Visuddhimagga also, Buddha explained about this. Whether samatha yanika, samatha vehicle, or vipassana yanika, the meditator who want to go direct vipassana meditation. If they want to practice vipassana meditation, firstly, they need to discern 4 elements meditation. You can see in the Visuddhimagga, second book, 222, page 222. There explanation that Sutta vipassana yaniko pana ayame wawa samatha yaniko satu dhatu vavatthane vodana desan dhatu parikaha mukhana inyatara mukha vasena sinkhepa dova vithara dova sataso dhatuyo parikananti. Samatha vehicle or vipassana vehicle. So if they want vipassana meditation, firstly need to contemplate 4 elements meditation before practice vipassana. So both are taught at the Pa-Auk monastery in Myanmar. If one has first developed samatha subject of meditation, one should please enter the 4th jhana at every sitting until the light is bright, brilliance and radiance. In the Sutta also always Buddha mentioned about to develop concentration. You can see, so if Buddha explained in the Sutta to practice meditation, firstly he started to teach, explain to develop concentration and to attain 4th jhana concentration. Every Sutta you may see for meditation practice. Having emerged from the 4th jhana, one should then begin 4 elements meditations. Develop 4 elements meditation. The way to develop 4 elements meditation. There are 2 ways. 2 ways means the breath method and detail method. The breath is for those who quick understand, and the detail for those who have difficulty with the breath one. The Buddha taught the breath method in the Ssati Sutta. Punacha param bhikkhave bhikkhu Imameva Kayam Yatha Tidam Yatha Panihitam Taruso Vicha Vakadi Ati Imasame Kaye Patavi Dandu Abo Dandu Tejo Dandu Vayo Dandu. The meaning is, Bhikkhu, review this very body. However, it be placed or disposed at consisting of just elements. Thus, there in this body, Prithvi Dhatu, the earth elements, Abo Dhatu, the water elements, Tejo Dhatu, the fire elements, Vayo Dhatu, the wind elements. The Visuddhimagga has further explained whatever hardness or roughness is the earth elements, whatever flowing or cohesion is water elements, whatever hot, heat or cool is the fire elements, whatever cushion or supporting is the wind elements. And he should advance and give attention to the characteristic and review it again and again as earth elements, water elements, fire elements, wind elements. That is to say, as mere elements, not a being and souls. By discerning four elements meditation also you can purify your view. So later I will explain how can we purify the view by discerning four elements meditation. In the Mahāsatipatthana Sutta also, Buddha explained with an example. As taught at Pa-Auk monastery, in accordance with the Dhammasāra, you should discern the four elements in the whole body as three characteristics. The Dhammasāra is a Abhidhamata commentary. Our Buddha taught Abhidhamma in the Dhammasāra reams. And most of the audience already know about this. Also, going to explain about these Abhidhamma teachings in the Dhammasāra reams. Because of this, the bodies of the Deva are very subtle. So if the Buddha teach only hardness and roughness of the earth elements, they may not understand because their body is very, very subtle. Because of this, in the earth elements, Dhammasāra commentary, Buddha mentioned for 6 characteristics of earth elements. You can see here, hardness, roughness, heaviness, softness, smoothness, and lightness. For water elements, flowing or cohesion. Fire elements, heat and cool, 2 characteristics. Wind element, supporting and pushing. Altogether, 12 characteristics. In Pa-Auk monastery, in accordance with the Dhammasāra, so you can discern the 4 elements, the whole body, as 12 characteristics. To develop this meditation, you must learn how to discern each of 12 characteristics. One at a time. Usually the beginner is first off the characteristic easier to discern, and later the more difficult ones. Easier to difficult. Among 12 characteristics, some characteristics of 4 elements are very easy to discern, very clear to discern. Because of this, for those characteristics, firstly, you can discern first. After that, you can discern the more difficult characteristics for the elements. They are usually taught in this order: cushions, hardness, roughness, heaviness, supporting, softness, smoothness, lightness, heat, cool, cohesion, fluid. So each characteristic must be discerned in first one place in the body and then through all the body. For example, when you start to practice the pushing characteristics, be aware of the pushing in the center of your head as you breathe in and out through the sound of touch. Concentrate on pushing and it becomes clear to your mind. Then move your awareness to a part of body nearby. Try to find pushing. Then move your awareness to the part of body nearby and try to find pushing. So descending pushing first in the head and then the neck, and then the arm, the leg, the feet. Need to descend in this way. At the beginning, you can descend more obvious parts. After that, slowly, you can descend the whole body. Head to feet. You need to descend again and again. Pushing. Do it again and again, many times. Until wherever you place your awareness in the body, you see pushing easily. If the pushings of the bridge in the center of the head is not easy to descend, then try to feel the pushing at the chest expand or the abandonment move when breathing. If that's not clear, try to feel the pulse or other obvious from pushing. Wherever there is movement, there is pushing. Wherever you begin, you must slowly develop your understanding so that you descend pushing throughout the body, from head to foot. In some place, it will be obvious. In other place, less so. But it is present throughout the body. When you are satisfied that, you can see pushing, trying to find heartness. Pushing, heartness. Pushing, heartness. So after pushing, you can descend heartness. To descend heartness, bite your teeth together. Feel how hard they relax your jaw and feel their heartness again. Heartness. Try to descend the heartness throughout the body systematically from head to foot. Do not deliberately tense the body. When you can descend heartness throughout the body, find the pushing throughout the body again. Alternate between pushing, heartness, again and again. Descend pushing throughout the body, then descend the heartness throughout the body. Do this from head to foot. Repeat this many times. So when you descend, these are 4 elements meditation. So these our body are based by 4 elements. Because of this, when we start to descend individual characteristics, so not only one places, you need to descend head to feet, feet to head, the whole body again and again, 100 times, 1,000 times. In this way, you need to descend again and again. So in our body, if you descend, you will see only characteristics. I am myself, my body. So you may see only the characteristic of 4 elements. When you walking, standing, sit down, lying postures. So you need to descend 4 elements characteristic. At the beginning, when you start to practice this pushing and heartness, not only sitting, when you are walking, standing, sit down, pushing and heartness, pushing and heartness. You descend again. Repeat many times until you are satisfied that you can do it. Roughness, heartness, roughness. To discern the roughness, rub your tongue over the edge of your teeth, or brush your hand over your robes or your clothes or the skin of your hands. Feel roughness. Now try to discern roughness throughout the body systematically. As before. If you cannot feel roughness, try to look in at pushing and hardness. Pushing and hardness. Okay. Discern roughness with them. I'm going to discern roughness. Go back to discern the three characteristics: pushy, hardness, and roughness. One at a time, again and again, throughout the body. After that, you can discern heaviness, pushy, hardness, roughness, heaviness. To discern the heaviness, place one hand on the tops of other in your laps. Feel the heaviness of the top hand or feel the heaviness of the head and bring it forwards. Practice systematically, practice discerning heaviness throughout the body systematically. When discern heaviness clearly, discern pushing, roughness, and heaviness in turn throughout the body. When you can discern heaviness clearly, try to find the four pushing, hardness, roughness, and heaviness in turn throughout the body until you are satisfied. To discern the supportings, relax your back so your body bend forwards. Then straighten your back and keep it straight. The force that keeps the body straight is called Ssati. Ssati characteristic. Because of the Ssati characteristic or the wind elements, now when you want to sit down, you can sit down. When you want to stand, when you want to walk, you can walk because of the pushings. Or this is power or the pushing or the power or the supporting characteristic. To discern the supporting, so you need to relax, you need to bend, you need to try find this way. So practice discerning supporting throughout the body systematically. If it is not clear, try to discern it with partners. This can be easier. When you can discern supporting easily, discern the fight, pushing, hardness, roughness, heaviness, and supporting throughout the body. Then, when you can discern supporting easily, try to find these fights until you are satisfied. Once satisfied, these five characteristics, you can go to characteristic softness. To discern the softness characteristics, press your tongue against the insides of your lower lip. You can try. Press your tongue against the inside your lower lips. When you tap your lower lip with your tongue, you may feel softness. Relax your body, practice discerning softness throughout the body systematically. Discerning 6, pushing, hardness, roughness, heaviness, body, and soft throughout the body until you are satisfied. After you are satisfied, the softness characteristic, you can go another characteristic called smoothness. To discern smoothness, watch your lip and rub your tongue over them from side to side. Practice discerning smoothness throughout the body systematically. Discern the 7, pushing, hardness, roughness, heaviness, smoothing, softness, smoothness throughout the body. After you are satisfied, the smoothness characteristic, you can discern lightness. Same to discern the lightness, wake a finger up and down. Feel is lightness. You may feel lightness. If you cannot feel it, try to find heaviness. This heaviness and lightness are opposites. So to understand clearly, firstly, if you discern the heaviness again, and you can feel the heaviness of the whole body, work a finger up and down, and feel is lightness. Practice discerning lightness throughout the body systematically. When you practice meditation, also sometimes automatically you may feel your body very light. Some meditators they inform that one day today I practice meditation. My body is floating on the sky, not touch on my back while I'm lying down. In this way they can feel very lightness. This is the characteristic of earth elements, heaviness and lightness. These are opposite characteristics of earth elements. Discern all 8 characteristics, which is hardness, roughness, heaviness, smoothing, softness, smoothness, and lightness. And there you are satisfied. Or walking, standing, sit down, lying postures. You do discern again and again. Discern each characteristic. That's called Tejo Dhatu. Dhatu, Abo Dhatu, Tejo Dhatu. Fire elements, heat and cool. To discern the heat characteristic, be aware of heat in any place where it is clear to you through the sense of touch. Discern all 9 characteristics, which is hardness, roughness, heaviness, smoothing, softness, smoothness, and lightness, heat. So you can feel the heat of your hand also. From this, you can discern the whole body of heatness, fire elements. Coolness, this coolness also fire elements. To discern the coolness, feel the coolness of the breath as it enters the nostril. Discern coolness systematically throughout the body. So when you practice Ānāpāna meditation, so we have already mentioned, you need to pay attention to the heat or cool of the breath. So because if you pay attention, that's not the Ānāpāna object. Ānāpāna object only breathe in and breathe out. Not the characteristic, boundless nature, suffer nature, non-self nature, heat or coolness. So you need to pay attention to this in Ānāpāna. But for all elements meditation, when you practice the coolness, so you feel the coolness of the breath as it enters the nostril. Discern coolness systematically throughout the body. Discern all tongue characteristics, which is hardness, roughness, heaviness, body, softness, smoothness, lightness, heat, coolness. Feel the coolness of the breath as it enters the nostril. And then you are satisfying the coolness. After that, you can discern the other characteristics. The first tongue characteristics are known directly through the sense of touch, which is hardness, roughness, heaviness, body, softness, smoothness, lightness, heat, coolness. The last 2 characteristics, cohesion and flowing, these are water elements. 2 characteristics are inferred from the other 10 characteristics. That is why these 2 are taught last. To discern the cohesion, be aware of how the body is held together by the skin, the flesh, and sinews. The blood is held inside by the skin, by the water in a balloon. Without cohesion, the body will fall into separate pieces and particles. You can see one the earth. So you can make the powder. After that, you can put inside the cup. Inside the cup. And then you can mix a little bit water. At the time, so this particle or the soil we combine again. These combination are because of the characteristic of cohesion. This cohesion combine the powder of the soil to become the stones. In the same way, our body also based by small particles. These small particles are combined by the cohesion, water elements. If this cohesion not combined, our body want the windy, so all will disappear. We will not see. So because of this, all the whole body are based by the four elements. Without cohesion, the body will fall into the separated piece and particles. The force of gravity that keep the body stuck to the earth is also cohesion. Design cohesion characteristic. If this is not clear, design all 10 qualities, which is roughness, heaviness, softness, smoothness, lightness, heat, coolness. Earth elements, wind elements, fire elements. So you need to design these 3 elements, characteristic, 10 characteristic again and again, one at a time throughout the body. When you have become skilled, quality of cohesion becomes clear. If it is still not clear, design just the quality of pushing and hardness, you should feel as if your whole body red up in arrows. Design this as cohesion. So sometimes also you may feel when you are meditation times, your body may feel like someone control the whole body. That feeling also, that's other characteristic of water elements, cohesion characteristic. Design this as cohesion, develop cohesion as you develop the other characteristic. Another characteristic of water element is flowing. To design flowing, be aware the salivas flowing in the mouth. So because you have already practiced 32 parts of the body in this stage, if you go systematically, you already understand 32 parts of the body. At the time, also you can discern the blood flowing throughout the blood vessels, the air flowing into the lungs, or heat flowing through all the bodies. If this is not clear, look at flowing others with the coolness, heat, or pushing. You may discern flowing. When you can discern all these characteristics clearly throughout the body from head to foot, you should discern them again and again in this order. 165, you should rearrange the order of the one first mentioned in the beginning: hardness, roughness, heaviness, softness, smoothness, and lightness. Flowing cohesion, heat, coolness, body, and pushing. In that order, trying to design each characteristic one at a time from head to foot. You should try to develop this, and you can do it quickly, at least 3 round minutes. During 1 minute, if you already can design this characteristic for 3 rounds, so at the time you can practice in this way. The elements, for some yogis, becomes unbalanced. Some elements may become too much and evil and fear evil, particularly hardness, heat, and pushing can be done too much. If this occur, you should concentrate more on the opposite qualities, and continue to develop concentration in that way. For example, if flowing is in excessives, concentrate more in cohesion. Or if body is in excessive, concentrate more on pushing. The opposite are hardness and softness, roughness and smoothness, heaviness and lightness, flowing and cohesion, heat and coolness, supporting and pushing. These opposite characteristics cannot be arise at the same time. For example, if hardness is very obvious, softness may not occur. If very softness occur in your mind, the hardness may not arise at the same time. So at the same time, so maybe 2 or 3 or 8 or so the same time can be occur. But opposite characteristic cannot be occur at the same time. When the descent is 4 elements meditation. So to balance these 4 elements meditation, you need to understand these 3 characteristics. In the Mega, Buddha only 2 characteristics of earth elements. When you become the too much, and if a characteristic become very strong, in order to balance, you need to understand the opposite characteristic. Some meditator, when they practice meditation, in the whole body, they have a lot of heaviness, so they cannot concentrate very well. At the time when they discern the softness. So at the beginning, we should try to skip through these 3 characteristics. When some characteristics become very strong, you can discern the opposite characteristic to balance the elements by this way. Having known becomes skilled in the discernment of 12 characteristics in the whole body. With the 12 characteristics, heavy become clear. You should discern first, 6, 8, 1 glance at the earth elements. The next 2, at 1 glance at the water elements. The next 2 at the fire elements. The last 2 the wind elements. You should thus continue to discern earth, water, and fire and wind. In order to tranquility, the mind and attain concentration, you should do this again and again, 100,000 or millions of times. Earth elements, Rita do, water elements, water do, fire elements, Rita do, wind elements, fire do. So a good method for keeping the mind tranquil and concentrate is to no longer move your awareness from one part of the body to another. Instead, take an overview of the body. It is usually best to take the overview as if you were looking from behind your shoulder. It can also be done as if looking from above your head down, although this may lead to tension and imbalance of elements. While walking, standing, sit down, lying down, always you need to discern these 3 characteristics for 4 elements. So there also you need to understand when you practice the 4 elements, there are 10 ways to develop 4 elements concentration. As supplementary to the Visuddhi Mega, mention how to develop your concentration in 10 ways. You should discern the 4 elements in sequence: Ānāpāna, earth, water, fire, winds. Sequence given by the Buddha. Nati, Sikato. On discern 4 elements, you should not discern not too fast. If discerning the 4 elements too fast, we will not see them clearly. Nati, Sanikato. Nati means not too slow. So when you discern the 4 elements, you should not discern very slowly. If you discern the 4 elements too slow, you will not reach the end. Vikepa pati pahanato, warding of distraction. Keep the mind with only the objects of meditation, the 4 elements, and not let it wander. For example, when you practice Ānāpāna, you always need to mindfully to discern in your breathe in and breathe out. In the same way, when you practice the 4 elements, meditation, you need to ward in of distraction. Keep the mind with only the objects of meditation, the 4 elements, and not let it wander. Panyati Samadhikamanato. The meaning is going beyond concepts. Not just mentally note earth, water, fire, wind, but beware of actual realities. The concept represent hardness, roughness, heaviness, softness, smoothness, lightness. Now discern earth elements, so you need to discern. Your mind must be clear, hardness, roughness, heaviness, or softness, smoothness, lightness. At least one characteristic must be occur in your mind when you discern earth elements. In the same way, when you pay attention, water elements. When you are aware water element, at the time in your mind, lightness or flowing must be occur. For fire elements, when you discern fire elements, cohesion or flowing or cohesion. Flowing and cohesion, water element. Fire element is heat or coldness. When you discern fire elements. When you discern wind elements, holding or pushing characteristic must be occur in your mind. At least one characteristic must be clear in your mind. Earth, water, fire, wind. After understanding these 3 characteristics, you can discern sequentially earth, water, fire, wind. Not very fast, not very slow. Understand other elements. Among 6 characteristics of one element must be clear in your mind. Understand the water elements. Through flowing or cohesion, at least one characteristic must be clear in your mind. Heat or coolness, when you discern 5 elements. Sodium or pushing, when you discern 1 element. Earth, water, fire, wind. Tree dhatu, Abo dhatu, Jo dhatu, Fire dhatu. Tea, Shui, or Fo. Is it true? Chinese language, tea, Shui, or Fo. Start feeling. What do you say?
Yes, Bhante. Correct, Bhante.
Okay, any language you can use, Bali language or English or tissue or form you can do to discern the 4 elements. So in these rules, Panati, Vitakamato, Panati, Samadhikamanato, going beyond concept. When you discern these elements, these characteristics must be occur at the same time. For example, when you practice Buddha recollection, at the same time, Buddha qualities, when you discern Arahant, the definition of Arahant must be clear in your mind. At the same time, when you discern this issue of form, or water, fire, wind, these 4 elements characteristic at the same time must be clear in your mind. Another is Ānāpāna mochana door. The meaning is discarding what is unclear. Once you can discern all three characteristics, you may temporarily leave all characteristics that are unclear. Among three characteristics, which characteristics are not very clear, you can leave out these characteristics. But no, if it leads to pain or tension due to imbalance in the elements, keep at least one characteristic for each of 4 elements. So do not work on just 3, 2, or 1 elements. Best if all 3 characteristics are clear with none left out. Lakkhana door, meaning is discerning the characteristic. Concentrate on the function and manifestation of the elements. And the characteristics of each elements are not yet clear when you begin to meditate. When concentration improves, concentrate on the nature's characteristic, sabhava lakkhana. Sabhava lakkhana means 1. Concentration improve, concentrate on the natural characteristic, the hardness and roughness of the element, the brilliant creation of the water elements, heat and coolness of fire elements, the smoothing of the wind elements, earth elements, water elements, fire elements, wind elements, or hardness, flowing, heat, smoothing, hardness, flowing, heat, smoothing, hardness, flowing, heat, smoothing. You discern again and again and again, your concentration will be improved. The same as when you practice Ānāpāna, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. You can develop your concentration, access concentration to absorption concentration by practicing Ānāpāna meditation. In the same way, when you practice these 4 elements, earth, water, fire, wind, or hardness, flowing, heat, smoothing, also you can develop concentration 5 minutes to 10 minutes, 15 minutes to 20 minutes by this way. At this point, you will see only elements and not see them, a person, or self. For example, when you discern the heatness for hardness in your body, this hardness, no I am, not myself, not you, not he, not she, is only earth elements, the characteristic of earth elements. So in the same way, the other characteristic, other 4 elements, when you discern the whole body, head to feet, feet to head, again and again, you will see only elements, the whole body. You may not see them as person or self. By this way, we need to discern not only internally, externally also. Buddha also mentioned internally, externally, internally, externally. You need to discern again and again. Iti ijadawa kaye kaya nupasi viharati pedawa kaya nupasi viharati. In the Mahaprajna Sutta, Buddha mentioned by this way. The sub-commentary further recommends to develop concentration according to 3 sutta. Number 1, Ānāpāna Sutta, the higher mind sutta. The Ssati Bhava Sutta, the becoming whole sutta. The Bojjhanga Sutta, the enlightenment sutta. In those 3 sutta, the Buddha advised to balance 5 faculties. In the samatha meditation, I have already mentioned, explain these 5 faculties and the 8 enlightenment fata. Not only in the samatha and the vipassana, when you practice 4 elements, you need to balance 5 faculties, indriyas, and 7 enlightenment fata, bojjhanga. 5 faculties, indriya, saddha, viriya, sati, samadhi, panya, pain, efforts, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. 7 enlightenment factor, bojjhanga, mindfulness, investigations of phenomena, efforts, joy, tranquility, concentration, equanimity. You need to try to balance these 5 faculty and 7 enlightenment factor. So if you discern by this way, you will see different kinds of the light in your body. And you can concentrate 5 to 10 minutes, 10 to 20, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. And this way, at the time, the whole body you see different kinds of the light. That's also called nimitta. This 4 elements meditation also true in the samatha meditation, also vipassana. Chatudhatu Vavatthana in the samatha meditation also mentioned to develop concentration. These 4 elements meditation can attain excess concentration. I have already mentioned many times about this. When you practice vipassana also, you may see the light in your whole body because of the power of your concentration. A smoking grey light. So if you continue concentrate on the 4 elements in the grey light, it will become whiter like the cotton wools. If you continue to concentrate on the 4 elements in the white form, it will become translucent like a block of ice or glass. Approach access concentration. A smoking grey light or parikama nimitta, upper tree sign. The sun, 4 elements, again and again, your concentration power becomes deeper and deeper, stronger and stronger. That time, white light like the cotton wool will appear. This white light is called Lani sign, Ugaha nimitta. Every samatha meditation, there are 3 kinds of nimitta. Parikama nimitta, Ugaha nimitta. Another nimitta sign is called Patibhaga nimitta. When the sun of 4 elements in the white color form, again and again, the body becomes translucent like a blocks or ice or glasses. This is called counterpart sign, Patibhaga nimitta. Ānāpāna meditation also when you discern, you may see 3 nimitta. And the 4 elements also same. How discern ultimate material rupa kalapa? Discern the 4 elements in the translucent form with the light. Discern the speech elements in the translucent form. The translucent form breaks down into small particles. Small particles are called rupa kalapa. Rupa kalapa. Small particles. When you discern the speech element in the translucent form, you may see small particles in the whole body. When you discern your eye, you may not see your eye. Discern ear, nose, tongue, body. You may not see different part of the body. You may see only small particle kalapa. That is called rupa kalapa. In the rupa kalapa, there are 2 types of rupa kalapa: translucent kalapa, non-translucent kalapa. So when you discern the 4 elements in your eye doors, you may not see your eye, you may see kalapa. Translucent kalapa, you need to discern 4 elements. Non-translucent kalapa in your eye door also, you need to discern 4 elements: ear, nose, tongue, body. The same. You may see particle, translucent and translucent. The whole body you need to discern 4 elements. At the beginning, when you start to practice these 4 elements meditation, you need to discern only 4 elements, the whole body. By this way, internally and externally. So when you discern by this way, 4 elements, you may not see yourself, I am, myself, my son, my daughter, my properties. You may see only 4 elements, internally and externally. So Buddha explained these 4 elements. When you discern, Buddha gave the example. Punacha param bhikkhave imameva kayam yatahidam yatabhanihidam dhatu so picha vakati ati ima samingaye patui dhatu avo dhatu tejo dhatu vayo dhatu di. So when you descend the whole body, you may see only earth element, fire element, water elements, wind element, each way or four. Buddha gives example. Siyetabi bhikkhave dakho koga dagowa koga dagewa siwa kawin pasidwa duma pati vilaso vipajidwa nisino asa Eva meva so bhikkhave bhikkhu ima meva kaya yatha hita yatha panihita dhadu so picha vakanti. The meaning is they have one example. We see the pachas. The pachas mean the person who are killing animals. Especially when they want to kill the cow, the bull, they may bring the cow to the slaughterhouse. When they bring the cow to the slaughterhouse, the whole way, so he may think that is the cow. After he killed this cow, he may break four parts of the body of the cow. The bone, the flesh, the skin, the blood. By this way, he may divide four parts of the body. At the time, these pachas may bring these four parts of the body of the cow in the junction, he may sell it. At the time, in his mind, may not have the cow, only four parts of the body. The bone, the skin, the flesh, and the blood. By this way, someone who want to buy the cow, who want to buy the beef, at the time they may say, okay, please give me 1 kilo of the flesh. So they may not say, please give me 1 kilo of the cow. They may not say like that. Why? Already divided four parts of the body. In the same way, before you discern the four elements in your body, internally and externally, you may see this is I am, my son, my daughter, my property. When you discern the four elements again and again in your mind, you may see only four elements in your internally and externally. So Buddha explained in the Mahāsatiparana Sutta. And this way, if you develop the four elements meditation, you may attain access concentration. And also you can continue to practice maturity and mentality in order to purify your view, Ditti, Visuddhi. Okay, today already long time. You will practice the Buddha teachings, observing morality, developing concentration, Western knowledge, 3-4 training system, step by step, and to attain Nibbana very soon. Sadhu, sadhu.
Just curious, Bhante mentioned that after we see the 12 characteristics in whole of our body, then we turn to only 4 elements, is it? 地水火风. By looking at one, we can look at one characteristic of this each of these 4 elements. Is that correct?
At least.
At least one. But Bhante, you said because for example the cohesion and flowing is opposite.
Opposite, yeah.
Yeah. So if we look at the water element, we can only see one. Is that correct?
Yeah. At the same time, you may see only one. Yeah.
Only one. But Bhante also mentioned we should try to see the 12. So meaning maybe the next time we see the other one. Is that correct?
At the beginning, you need to discern one by one first.
Oh, okay.
So to easily to discern, firstly, you can discern from the pushing. Actually, pushing that's our wind characteristic. If you practice systematically, you need to start to discern from the heartnet. But to easily to discern, you start to discern the pushing. Okay. So all 12 characteristics must be clear in our mind first. After clearly, you can practice systematically under heaviness, softness, movement. After you are skillful 12 characteristics, within 1 minute, 3 rounds at a time, you just discern earth elements. So when you discern earth elements, hardness, roughness, heaviness, or softness, smoothness, or lightness, at least one characteristic must be clear. Okay,
Oh,
that's called Prithvi Dhatu. Abo Dhatu, so Abo.
yes.
Abo Dhatu means so flowing of creation. So when you discern water elements, so flowing of creation and leave one kind to clear. Fire elements, heat or cool. Wind element, pushing or supporting. Earth, water, fire, wind. So because of this, Panyati, we take a matter not only to pay attention to the concept. So these need to discern the realities, ultimate reality. Because of this, at least one characteristic is must be clear when you discern.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. There are two questions on the screen. Dear Bhante, is it correct to say that we practice samatha and jhana so that it is easier for us to practice vipassana?
Sure. So not only vipassana, when we practice 4 elements, actually at the beginning are very hard to discern these three characteristics. So the whole body are also a little bit difficult. So if you already develop concentration, these 4 elements are very easily to meditate. So the whole body you can control very easily. When you already had a basis concentration, you already had the foundation concentration. So to transfer another so meditation, that's very easy. Because of this, always most universal are encouraged to develop concentration. According to the Buddha admonishments, in the Samadhi Sutta, always Buddha mentioned Samadhi Bhikkhvi Bhavita, Samadhi Bhikkhvi Bhikkhu, Yatha Buddham Pājana, Ssati. We do develop concentration. Concentrated Bhikkhu understand as a reality. Buddha always mentioned like that. Because of this concentration are very helpful to discern the vipassana meditation, this vipassana object.
Okay. He continued the question. Is it because the jhana that give us the great light of wisdom can also re-energize us and refresh us?
True. Yeah. So I already mentioned the and others for protection meditation. So now we are fighting with the enemies of the defilements. Those are the worst enemies of. So because of these enemies of the defilements, we have to die many life. Most of the people they only name the enemy from outside. Actually, inside our mind, a lot of enemy we need to fight. They kill us many life already. Because of these defilements, we have to die in the samsara. We have to suffer a lot. Sometimes we have to reborn in the full rains. Because of this, we need to fight with the defilements always. Because now we have the Buddha Sasana, we have the Buddha teachings. We understand how to fight these defilements, enemies. So we need to use different types of the weapon. We need to fight. But the whole day you cannot fight in the vipassana. So because of this, when you practice a vipassana meditation, you need to have the relaxed place, right? The bhanga. The soldier, when they are fighting with the enemy, sometimes they need to relax in their bhanga. After that, they go to fight again. In the same way, when you already develop concentration, when the tiredness are occur, so you can make refreshing by developing concentration. After that, practice vipassana. Okay, by this way you can do passive. Can be helpful to each other, can support to each other. Samatha and vipassana, concentration and wisdom. Because of the power of concentration, vipassana knowledge also clear. Because you discern the vipassana meditation, your concentration also can be stronger. Can support to each other by this way.
Okay. Bhante, another question. If the meditator were not able to discern the 4 elements equally clear, does it lead to imbalance of the body and pain and illness appears?
Yeah. So, for example, sometimes hardness characteristic very clear in your mind. So at the time, you may not easy to develop concentration with the element. So you need to reduce the hardness characteristic. How can reduce? If you discern the opposite characteristic of softness, at the time your body becomes soft. At the time you can discern easily. Sometimes if the one characteristic you discern again and again. So this characteristic may be very extremely occur. Because of this, if you already understand individual characteristics, already enough. Only one characteristic should not discern very long time, long periods.
Okay, Bante. Next question. In one of the screen shared by Bante, it is written, once you can discern all 12 characteristics, you may temporarily leave out characteristics that are unclear, but not if it leads to pain or tension due to an imbalance in the elements. Can Bante explain further on this?
So these are Nupatana Mochana. Some characteristics are at the same time not very clear. So you can left white. So for example, when you discern earth element, water elements, fire elements, wind elements. So at the same time, many characteristics can occur. Okay, no problem. You just try at least one characteristic occur or okay. So if you want to try to discern clearer, you just try to clear these characteristics which are not clear. You discern again. At the time you can repeat again. And this way you can clear again. Yeah? At the beginning, if although not clear, okay, you just go at least one characteristic occur or okay. Just discern regularly earth, water. Okay, and today you have already accumulated money, wholesome, marriage. Some morality, you listen to the motto, do money, wholesome, marriage. With this wholesome, marriage is the main cause to realize Nibbana. So now for conclusion, I will recite the Jaya Mangala Kata in order to successful in your daily life and meditation method practice and they to attain Nibbana. Jayando Bodhiya Mule Sajana Nandi Vodano Eva Mewa Jayo Hodu Jayasu Jaya Mangale Sajana Sagi Women Yodoi Nandi Vodano Sinalongo Shim Yosi Yamyadi Bodhiya Bodhi Vei Mule Nita Quim Jadi Parajita Palentanai Jayando Manga Bago Omni Levi the Kedo Ewa Mewa Ewan Data Pamatayu to Edo Maga Osidi Myotago the Kempayashingo Jilen Yonu Shiu Banja then break the Bomburo Gondo A Jayo Jadi Ken Bizoja Jindi Odu Mocha Madri Pipavi Jaya Mangale Peya Shankwa Om Jin Shinga Mingamaja Edo Maga Osidi Myotago the Kempayashingo Jilen Yonu Shiu Banja then break the Bomburo Gondo A Jaya Su Jadirago Nizindu Yue Kaunjo Pisi Omye Naija Aziko Nadi
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
To share a merit or a Piyatami Eta Vadacha Amehi
Etawata cha amhehi.
Sambadang Punya Sambadang
Sambadang punya sambadang.
Sabbi Diva Anumodandu
Sabbe dewa anumodantu.
Sabbe Buddha Anumodandu
Sabbe Buddha anumodantu.
Sabbe Saddha Anumodantu
Sabbe satta anumodantu.
Sabba Sampati Siddhiya
Sabba sambati siddhiya.
Idambe Nyadina Hodu
Idame nyatinang hotu.
Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo
Sukita hontu nyatayo.
Idambe Nyadina Hodu
Idame nyatinang hotu.
Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo
Sukita hontu nyatayo.
Idambe Nyadina Hodu
Idame nyatinang hotu.
Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo
Sukita hontu nyatayo.
Idame punyam
Idame punyam
asavakayam
asawakaya
vahang hodu.
wahang hotu.
Idame punyam
Idame punyam
nibbanasa
nibbanasa
pachayo hodu.
pachayo hotu.
Mama punya bhagam
Mama punya bhagang
sabba sadhana
sapa satanang
bhajimi
bhajimi
desabe
desabe
desamma
desamang
punya bhagam
punya bhagang
labandu
lapan